So apologies, guys. I'm trying to really get back into the Buffy content and other content, but just a lot of health, life issues, but I will try to do better, which unfortunately is relevant to this very sad notification. And I think a lot of Buffy fans probably still don't know. I did not know. I found out literally yesterday. That's when the news of Gene Hackman's tragic passing. I will try to do a tribute for him here as well as elsewhere. But let us get to Michelle. So apparently Michelle's body was found on Wednesday by her mother. We still don't quite know what has happened, but yes, it's confirmed that Michelle, who played Dawn on Buffy from season 5 and onwards, is dead. Now, it's really weird that I actually probably know Michelle at a deeper level than even most Buffy fans, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, I don't remember her, but she was on the show. She was on Pete and Pete, which, if you were of a certain age, was a very weird, very interesting kind of Nickelodeon program. I can still remember entire episodes and entire scenes. It was a very weird show. RT, the strongest man, it's a very weird show with Nickelodeon having many weird shows. And that was one of her first big roles. She also did a really interesting film with Rosie O'Donnell. I didn't see it. I'm going to catch up with it. And it's fair to say, except for Gossip Girl, which apparently was very good, and I'm curious. I think I saw bits and pieces, but I never got into it. That, good or bad, her defining role is Dawn. And we got to be brutally honest that Dawn's reception in the fandom until recently has been mainly negative. Now, it's a really weird thing, and I'm not going to go through my whole journey with Buffy. I watched it at the time when season 4 was happening, and I'll be totally honest, I was just confused. I was very confused. And Angel was starting at the same time, so I hooked on to Angel more than Buffy because at least I was less confused. And when season 5 rolled around, I was kind of losing interest. And I swear to God, this is what happened. For those who don't know, minor spoilers. Season 5 begins with Dracula. And I watched nearly the entire Dracula episode. But I made a mistake not watching the whole episode. Because basically the episode was over. The Dracula story was done. So I'm like, okay, it was a good episode. I think I'm going to stick to Angel. Anyway, Dawn is introduced at the very end of the Dracula episode. So, world history, my life history might have been radically different if I'd stayed there for a few more minutes. But there we go. So yeah, even Dawn's introduction was really weird. Now, it was teased at the end of season 4. If you go back to do it, I will do breakdowns here and elsewhere. Yes, they did give really weird hints about Dawn coming. Obviously, they know the schedule. They know what's going to happen in future seasons. And Michelle has a really weird relationship with Sarah. They actually worked before Buffy. So it was a really weird coming together of Dawn, Michelle, the role, and the Buffy fandom. I'm going through all that because honestly, I didn't really have major issues with Dawn when watching season 5 when I had a chance, and watching her in season 6 and 7. Now, I will say, Dawn is not a great character, and I do appreciate the revisionism that she's underappreciated. I agree. And she had a few good episodes, but Dawn was never the center of the show, so she only got a few good episodes. But I was shocked getting more into Buffy in the fandom that, yeah, she's almost universally hated. I was like stunned. I'm like, why all this hatred? And a lot of the blame does go to Joss, and he admitted this. You got to give him points. Although he and Michelle, to put it mildly, he and Michelle had issues later. But you go, by the way, to their old interviews, they are fine. There were no major issues in public. But we're not going to get into all the controversy with Joss. But nevertheless, Joss did admit, basically, Michelle was hired to be damsel in distress. It's definitely weird that usually damsel in distress stories are a male hero saving the, damsel, right? Superman and Lois, that's the canonical case, right? Spider-Man and MJ and so on and so forth. But they made a choice to make basically her damsel, and that's mainly her role in season 5. I'm simplifying. There were some good moments with Dawn in season 5, but even who Dawn is canonically really weird. I'm not going to spoil season 5. It's a great season, but she's technically a ball of energy. So you're like, well, is she energy? Is she a biological human? What exactly is she? Is she even really Buffy's sister? It's really confusing. But I think, and again, it's easy to say this now, she was very beautiful, very talented. I think she did a really good job for what she was given, but it wasn't much. And, it is what it is. I think she did the best she could with Dawn as presented. It did get better. Please be patient, because obviously if you want to give her a chance, you'll probably be like looking at season 5 and being like, I don't think she's a good actress and I don't like Dawn. Yeah, that seems to be the consensus. Like, be patient. It gets better. Not much better, but it gets better with seasons 6 and 7. Although I do share a lot of the antipathy which Buffy fans have for seasons 6 and 7. There is a lot of good stuff. There is a lot of good stuff in seasons 6 and 7. That said, it is a mixed bag. So it's unfortunate that the showcase we have to remember Dawn and remember Michelle is a very flawed canon. All I can say is please give Dawn a chance and please give Michelle a chance. It's a great performance. It is flawed by design because, again, the writers were not focused on her, which is unfortunate. And I think Joss failed her, frankly, but, it is what it is, and they had a lot of personal issues behind the scenes. That said, Joss and the cast, as well as Blake Lively and others, are giving very lovely tributes. Rosie O'Donnell gave a very sweet notice as well. It is all very weird and sad and very shocking because I'm like, she's so young, relatively speaking. I mean, yes, she's one of the youngest people in the cast, but she wasn't really as young as people think she was. I mean, technically, Eliza Dushku, when she came on Buffy, was also really young. She was really young to play Faith. Even within the show's production, they've had really young performers, but Eliza, as far as I know, is doing well. She's had her own issues. She's gone on with life. She's married, gotten educated, but it is still stunning that such a young woman is dead. So it's all very sad. It's very, very shocking. I'd like to say we should continue with Dawn, but I will be honest. I have read a little bit about her in the comics. It's a very mixed record. However, Dawn as a character is still out there. So now with the Buffy reboot in the background, I'm puzzled what her image will be or what her legacy will be. Sarah and her got along great. There's a lot of great photos of them together. So how they're going to figure this thing out, I don't know. Sarah is going to be a producer on the new reboot if it does happen. So I'm sure they're going to do an homage. But yeah, it's definitely a difficult question. Should they recast the role? Should they canonically kill the character? Should she be dead in the Buffy universe? It's a lot of complicated questions, which we're going to be debating. So I hope they continue the character with or without a new performer. I'd be okay if we just leave Dawn as she is. Michelle will be the only live actress who did Dawn. I'm okay with that as well. It's definitely going to be a weird time for the Buffy fandom, and we've lost a lot of people. If you're a hardcore fan, you're like, wow, we've lost so many cast people. Major characters, minor characters, major performers, minor characters. The main cast has not changed. It's very shocking. It's very shocking that of the main cast, she's one of the first to die. Anthony's fine, James is fine, even Riley's fine, right? I mean, Mark is fine. Yeah, it's really strange that Michelle would be one of the major actresses to die. I mean, it's just very sad. Apparently there are other Buffy actresses who are suffering, apparently, I think, but I don't want to get into that. But yeah, some of them have medical issues too, so it's just very, very sad. So hopefully we will honor Michelle and Dawn in the right way. But listen, I'm not going to lie, I liked her. I have no really major issues with Dawn. I understand contextually what they were up to. I may dislike certain decisions, but I appreciated what Michelle tried to do with Dawn. So I never really understood the hatred, but listen, she is like Jar Jar in the Star Wars universe. There are many people have no issue with the actress, have no issue with the performer, but this character is so annoying. It's just so much. I say just try to give her a chance, because Dawn, good or bad, is an important part of the Buffy legacy. And although Buffy is very flawed, it is worth going through. So rest in peace, Michelle.